I had to get myself squared away. How we doing, four peeps? What's going on? Today is going to be the David takes apart locks that aren't designed to be taken apart. Because, face it, let's face it, these um these locks have been around for forever and they are all over the place and so many of them have no keys. So I think it's a good part of the lock sport community that we know how to take these from keyless to keyed up. And so that's what we're going to do today with this one, which I rescued from a bridge recently. It's an 850, I believe. It's got the TC keyway. So let's actually, before we get into the fun stuff, we can let people filter in, but we're going to discuss this padlock design just a wee bit, for the lulls. So allow me to slide all these guys out of the way, and we'll bring my iPad in. So the Yale 830, 840, and 850 series and also the 870 have been in production for over 100 years. This is a PDF file of the 1926, I want to say, or no, sorry, 1929 Yale catalog, and you will find the that they are here in the 830, the 840, the 850, which we will be taking apart today, and the 870, which is much larger and probably the rarest of all of them. So, and there it's amazing all the options available, by the way, in this old catalog where you can choose the finish, your shackle, whether you want steel, chrome plated steel, alloy steel, bronze. And believe it or not, this is not even for sure, Will G Keyman. This is not even the first file or the first catalog that I've seen this series of locks show up. I've seen it as early as the 1917 catalog that these locks. So these locks have been in existence for, like I said, over 100 years. They are, I think, an important part of American lock history, and they're also available in so many different versions. So let's discuss that. First of all, many of them are available using the Yale sectional keyways, which, for those of you who know, me is heavily multiplexed. Um, and just quite briefly, there are numerous multiplex EL keyways. For example, there is the V section, the Y section, the I don't know why they put this as L because this is actually the G section. It's GA, GB, GC, etc. S section, the T section, which is what we're going to be taking apart today, and I'm sure there's some others that I'm not thinking of. But and the reason I say this and this is important is because there, for there are sections, there are also master keys, much like Schlage with SC1, SC8, and the SC20 being an all section key. This is very similar, but beyond that, there is an all section key available. So I think that's important to mention. So if you have, so for example, for the G section, there is the GMK. For the S section, there's the SMK, and for T, there is the TMK. But crucially, for all three sections, there is the GST, which is the equivalent of the L, which will not only fit all of these, but all of these and all of these. All three keyways or all three keyway sections, all keyways within the section, which is important because for some reason they decided not to put TC over there, which is exactly what this is. I've always found the Ilko padlock or catalog to be very odd. So let's go away from that for now and discuss taking this sucker apart. So the 840 series is held together by two rivets, and they go all the way through the lock. They encase the outer case to the inner body and hold everything together. And there went my change thing because my cat did a thing. Oh God above. Guys, we gotta halt proceedings for a second so I can clean up splinters. Sorry. Oh my God. I have had this little thingamajigger since oh my God, I've had this thing since high school and now it's dead. Thanks, Emily. R.I.P. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hey baby boy, you didn't break anything. It's okay. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at anybody, but what an adventure. All right, let's go. Remember, Murphy's Law, etc. And also in life, we expect the unexpected, and that was certainly not expected. Although cats being little 10-pound agents of chaos is to be expected, I guess. So, anywho, oh, right. We successfully cleaned up the morass that was that. Okay, let's take this freaking lock apart. God, that was hilarious. All right. Oh, that one? Yeah, I'm gonna re-up that uh later. That's one of my before bed tasks for today. Anyways, let's take this sucker apart before I make a bigger hash of things. So now one thing that G Keyman noticed very astutely is that I've actually pre-started these rivets because it's very important that you get them started correctly. Because otherwise, you are going to have a very bad time. You're going to end up hitting the wrong area. You're going to end up bending the rivet while it's on its way out. It'll make your life so much harder. So, in the very beginning, go very slow. Make sure you're being accurate with your punch, and all will be good. Now, I'm going to keep this turning tool in the lock the entire time to make sure it stays in its pick state because I don't want to have to repick the lock because I'm lazy like that. Uh, Also, this lock is like super gunky, like many of these old Yale locks. So let's not have to repick it. Anyways, this is a a gift, I suppose, from Packlock. Um, this is actually supposed to be one of their cone-shaped puck locks, but they had a tool explosion. But either way, the point is we're using this because it's a hard metal object that's got good weight to it. Um, Basically using it as an anvil so we can be in front of y'all. And we're gonna punch the actual rivet into that little channel over there using le 3/32 inch pin punch and any hammer you like. So let me make sure, and also, and this is just a me thing. This is kind of generally don't need to do this, but I do. Is I usually put a paper towel um on the on top of this just to reduce scratching a little bit. I don't think it does very much. Yep. See? Yeah. It doesn't do a ton, but it's better than nothing. You need to have something. You gotta have a little interface between the two things. Anyways, and it's also very important. Obviously, these rivets were driven in from one side and then they were cut off at the other side. You want to make sure you're driving them out opposite because this side is mushroomed out. Yeah. Yeah. But why take chances? All right. The one thing I'm apparently not able to find at the moment is my friggin' hammer. I got everything together. I had the punch. I had the thing. I had the thing. Where I put my freaking hammer? Anyways, this is not the hammer I had in mind, but it works too. It's any hammer will do. All right. I also the biggest problem this is gonna be is that this punch is on its last legs, but we're gonna make it happen. I'm not gonna blame the tools. But yeah, the reason I've pre-started it is 'cause now I can actually have the hole to center the punch. Very nice and handy. I'm gonna try and get this done fairly quickly without too much chitter chatter because I mean, let's face it, it's 8:30 p.m. over here, and at some point it becomes really rude to be hammering things. So if you don't mind, point is we're hammering, we're banging, we're clanging, we're hitting ourselves on the thumb. Can you all hear me? Yo. All right, excellent. Let me mute it again and get the other and do some more hammering. Sorry. Okay, everyone. After after much palarba, we got the rivets out. And honestly, that's the hard part. Unfortunately, while I was hammering away, this can get out of the way, but I do need the two rivets. Also, oh, wonderful. They didn't even bend that much. I might be able to reuse them. Yeah. So yeah, they are. So luckily, it looks like I'll probably be able to at least give a shot at reusing these pins. If not, it's just 3/32 inch brass rod stock. That's all you need to replace that. Anywho, but yes, rather unfortunately, uh, I'm gonna have to repick it at some point because I reset it. However, let's start taking this sucker apart. Now I do have my tray there just in case, but let's see. All right, now that it's open, now the fact that it's locked is going to be a little bit annoying, but we can still get this thing broken down quite a bit. So we're going to start by sliding, wiggling, shimmying this outer cover up until we get to this little pin right there. And we're going to want to push that little pin out. That's the shackle retention pin. If we don't get that out, we can't remove the shackle, which means we can't get this thing apart, which means we can't get to the. Now, while we're looking at this, this is the core rotation limiter. It's you can unscrew it. You're going to need to unscrew that to get to the lock. And thankfully, this actually looks. All right. Oh, what? Kelsapries got it off, no problem. Oh, I love it when things go well. I love it when things go well. Oof! Look how much just gunk and corrosion is on, or not corrosion, oxidation. It would be. But yeah, I think we're gonna have to repick this quite quickly. And by repick this, because these locks, generally speaking, are nothing but standard pins. So we're just gonna rake it. There's no point in the yes, rotation limiter and retainer. This is gonna be really riveting stuff watching me rake open. See, this is why if you have a key, it's so much easier. But let's assume you bought one off eBay for like $10 because it said no key. Oh, we're about to have a visitor. Hey, she broke my change drawer earlier, but now she's come to be cute. Flattery will get you nowhere. But don't stop trying though. Oh, you want to be the lockpicking meower? Is that how it is? The biggest issue, Keybeard, honestly, with shimming, picking, whatever this lock is that it is just gunky, gunky, gunky. So, you know, yes, I just reset the entire thing. It's fine. It's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Sometimes you're just barking up the wrong tree. Let me be a professional YouTuber. 10 people watching, only 6 likes. Like the video. 12 people watching, only 6 likes. Like the video. Trying to remember what I used to liberate this lock from the bridge. Was it a rake or was it the McTickler? Shimmed it through the rotation hole. Mm. Everything should be repeatable here, so yeah. The older and gunkier they are, the more humbling they are. But if you look at this stack of 840s and 850s, none of these had keys when I got them. So, and they're, there's a team of Justin Bieber on the next video below me. Oh, baby, baby, baby. Oh, why will you watch that video? Shit is lame. Dean, do not. Don't. No, 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 no. Don't even start. Okay. I'm breaking kayfabe. Keep singing and you will get a thumbs down. I'm just not singing the right songs. Like a strung out. Is this thing picked and it's just so gunked that it's not letting me rotate it? Let me try just. No, it's not. That was singing. Chuck soup. That's why I'm back of the house, not front of the house. Look, not all, I sing in the basement. I don't have a basement. I live in an apartment, my friend. I sing in the car. Yuck. By the way, this bind that I'm in right now is part of the reason why I said it's very important that you either have the key or make sure it's open, because if you relock it, you're stuck here with a gunked up half broken down padlock that you got to sing. Sorry, Freudian slip there. That you got to basically jiggle open. Dean don't sing and Charlie don't surf. That's all we know. I almost feel like there's a spool here, which would be weird because he's rarely. I don't think I've ever actually encountered one of these with a spool before. I have seen them with like the older ones. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the. All right, eyes. Now your ears. They're bleeding. Hey, sometimes what you need is gorilla tension for these things, and sometimes your pick slips and you're just about to throw it out the freaking window. And if I had a TC blank, I would file a bump key. Hey, wait! I don't have to subject myself to this torture and misery. I own a vice. Yes. So yeah. So Keybeard. On that note, um, poof, the older ones. This isn't. Yeah. These are like the very old ones, which still had the cloverleaf logo. Um, these ones. uh, By the way, look at that. Look at the pitting on the shackle. I think it's hilarious. This one, when I got it, it was so gunked up that the pin chamber 6 was actually seized completely. But if you see if I can, if you look very, and I hope it focus. If you look closely, this still use the old style Yale uh, threaded. Uh, yeah, it had. Does yours, G Keyman? Does yours also have like the threaded pins where it looks almost like it was cut, like the pins are threaded themselves? Yeah. So they're serrated, but they're almost like a threaded situation where they're actually spiraling. Um, and it's a very soft serration. But yeah, that I've seen those. Anyways, let me turn off this flash because I find that rather. But yeah, but the newer ones I've never seen with any sort of security pin, really. Oh, also would like to add that they're so often master keyed, although this one may not be. All right. Yeah. So those pins are Those pins are beautiful. I was actually while I was working today, I was actually in the background. I was listening to a video by Artichoke 2000, who is a very very talented picker and a friend, and he was discussing how actually that threading was actually initially part of Linus Yales Jr.'s original patent for the pin tumbler lock, and that um, he actually had plans for um, he actually had plans for having some sort of matched milling for these pins so that they would lock in somewhat. But I don't know if that ever came to fruition or not. We got kitties in the frame. Kitty meow meow meow. I'm gonna try and tension off this like second porch. I always say it's really funny. You guys online, you see this cat more than anybody who visits me in person ever sees. She is such a such a. I feel a little sorry for Emily that they don't have a tortoiseshell emoji. They only have black and orange. That seems a little restricted. Although considering tortoiseshell is black and orange together, you guys can take the black cat and the orange cat and mix them. That's the tortoiseshell cat emoji. One of each. One black cat, one orange cat. Actually, she's got more black than orange. Emily does, so it's going to be two. It's going to be two black cats and one orange cat. So she's two. Yeah, my torties disappear. My orange cat is just such a star. He wants to see everybody. And also, Dean, on the subject of Meow Tse Dong, or this past Sunday, I was doing my live stream from the colony, and somebody who had experienced feeding street cats in Bucharest uh, was in the chat, and I asked rather flippantly, "Hey, did you ever name one of the cats on the streets Nikolai Meowchescu? Because that would be a great name for a kitty cat." They didn't. Apparently not. That never happened. They did not name a cat Nikolai Meowchescu, and that makes me sad. Ah! It's amazing how many horrific dictators would make great cat names. Nicolai? There we go. Okay, now things get easy. Can I get a Yahoo? All right. The hybrid picking and raking tech. God, this thing is a pain in the piece of shit. All right. Who's Nikolai? Oh, Nikolai Ceausescu is the former dictator of communist Romania, often known as the genius of the Carpathians amongst his friends, and a horrible piece of shit amongst everybody else. Um, you can you can look him up. He had his ending was the ending of many dictators. This is history and lockpicking with David Romano. All right, let's get the spring out. Now I'm holding it in its pick state because the minute I start taking things apart, everything is gonna fly apart with these locks. All right, some rust on the spring, but look at the locking. These are the locking levers for the lock for the padlock. It's also even though it uses a spring-loaded locking lever, I don't think it's shimmable because this locking lever, as you can see, is flat. It would yeah. He did end well. I mean, him and his wife ended up. It ended very poorly for Nikolai and Elena Ceausescu. Put it that way. Um, if you wanna, if you wanna Google it, you can look up. You can look at what happened to Nikolai and Elena Ceausescu. It was yeah. Here's the thing: a not insignificant amount of those Eastern European dictators were removed by gun or knife. So and Ceausescu is no different. He and his wife were summarily executed. There's actually a photo of them getting shot. It's really easy to find, and all my monetization is gone because I said the word shot. Oh, and now I said it again. Damn it. Also, just quick ADD tangent, but yeah, I had some Master Lock Challenge pins I was working on that I didn't put away, and for that reason, I lost one of them just now. We're not going to go full ADD. It's somewhere on the floor. We'll find it later. We're going to take this expletive deleting lock apart. All right. We got our shackle spring. I also want to point out one of the reasons I actually picked it up. Look how much shit is coming out of the lock. Just this is just dirt. That's gross. All right. Next on the list of things to do is we need to remove that rotation limiter. Boop. That is far too large. Wait, no. I have the right tool for the right job. Guys, I swear to you, I'm an organized and professional YouTuber. I do this all the time and I make the big bucks for it. Oh, dear Lord. That is way too big. That is never going to work. All right. Hopefully it's nice and loose and I can crack this sucker open with like using a tension wrench. Message retracted. Spray some Houdini. Yeah. Oop, size. Filthy. We'll clean this sucker up a little bit in un segundo. And unfortunately, um I don't have a TC blank with me, although I am probably going to buy some of those GST blanks just so I can just get the whole GS and T sections all in one file keys that way. All right. see if swear to God if aha! I found my small flathead. All right, so we're removing this little screw right here. We're taking this out. This is the rotation limiter, and it also serves as the retainer because once this is out, we can remove everything. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly, and I mean slowly, wiggle the core out ever so slightly. So you see it went out, and now the locking pawls are disengaging. You can see them starting to open. Boom. Okay, we got one out. There goes the spring for the other one. Two out. Yeah, see? So we got the pawls out. Now we got to get the actuator. And as G. Keeman said earlier, you gotta pay attention to which way it's lined up. So I am going to grab just for because my fingers don't really fit in there. I'm going to grab my tweezers. Yeah. Let me check. No. Okay, cool. This one is new enough so that it doesn't have those pins. I know exactly what you're talking about, G. Keeman. This one doesn't have those, fortunately. All right, that seems a little seized up, so we're just going to pull the whole situation with the actuator installed. So now we can remove our turning tool. Yeah, I just want to see. Okay, yeah, 850. Um, all right. And just to be clear, this right here is the Bible. This is where all the drivers are and springs. I can tell you my bigger problem, G Key man, is that it just that's my problem. It's just gunkalicious. So I'm having to kind of all right, something fell out because I was holding it at the wrong angle, but that's okay. Okay. Good God almighty. That is disgusting. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna clean her up right about now, Dean. So there's our actuator. More often than not, it goes with the T side down. And we also have a crooked master wafer in slot 4. That's a little worrisome, but we will take care of that as well. So let's get everything out of this one so I can clean. You don't want too much nasty. I'm also seeing, unfortunately, a master wafer that just kind of got escaped. So I don't know where that came from. We're also gonna flatten out that master wafer. All right. Exactly. But I want to see what the pinning was like in originally. All right. In one pin plus a master wafer. Two, we have a driver pin. Or sorry, key pin. Three, key pin plus master wafer. Four, we have that master wafer. Okay, this thing is mastered to hell. Doesn't want to come out, but that's okay. By the way, I know Xfinity's probably asleep right now, but if you were curious, this disgustingness, this is why we don't use graphite as lubricant anymore. This grossness. All right. All right, we got a key pin in 5 and a key pin in 6 and a disgusting, disgusting plug. Yeah, these are very these look kitty. These locks are very, very common. They're not high security necessarily, but they're very high quality and they don't rust. And so they're often used by like utility companies and city agencies to lock up low security fences and whatnot. And that they're very common here in Los Angeles. Uh, and yeah, but unfortunately, that also means that they are gross very frequently. All right, let's get the driver pins out and see if there was in fact a spool or if I was just imagining things. I probably was imagining things, but we can figure things out together. And I almost was doing it the wrong direction. All right, hold on. Actually, before we do that, let me get my master wafers in a row. I'm gonna pretend like this random master wafer that fell out was in two because there's no master wafer in two, and we'll go from that assumption. Oh, good lord! You want to talk about things we're not putting back in the lock? This number one or number two master wafer is not going back in. Uh-uh. Could not be me. There is a little bit of tapering on the top of the key pins, but not much. I don't know if I would count. Or let me retract that statement and edit. There is a little bit of tapering on that particular key pin that I showed. Yeah, this is tapered. Yeah. So the longer key pins do have a slight taper to the top of them, except for this one. This one's not tapered at all. Anyways, let's get the driver pins. Yikes. These springs are no joke. Small standard driver pin. These the springs in these Yales are, yeah, they're legit. David, I've done that so many times. I will keep doing it. I was looking at it the wrong way. All right, I may have lost. Oh, there we go. Not a gutting disaster yet. I mean, look, for gutting these old Yales is just a gutting disaster either way. There's just no way to not have it be a gutting disaster. Think I've done better, I've done worse. I'm doing okay, you know? But yeah, they're really good springs. These Yales, like, they're not high security, but they are built. And if I, you know, if nothing else, I want me fumbling about like this to get some of y'all thinking, you know, I see these Yales all the time on eBay with no key for not a lot of money. I think I'm gonna buy one and, you know, mess around. It's not hard. That little shithead David could do it. So why not me? Or some of the more experienced people, you've had a bunch of these in your cupboard and you're not doing nothing with them. Go out, get creative with them. You don't want to impression keys? That's fine. You don't need to impression keys. You can just literally file it from. Let's flush. Okay. All right. So we are now disassembled to our components parts. Let's go clean this sucker a little bit quickly. All right. Now, there are a lot of people who say, there are a lot of people who are going to disagree with what I'm about to do, which is remove a large part of this lock's patina. I don't care. I want that to be explicitly known. I don't care. If a lock was very, very rare, obviously its patina should be left in place. The Yale 850, 840, 830, etc. are not rare. You don't need to leave them looking, patina is one thing. They don't need to be gross. So we're going to go clean these things. Let's do that now. We're also going to clean the locking pawls. These tiny pieces, the shackle, we're going to leave the springs alone. And I'll clean them later. But let's go ruin its collector value. There is no collector value. Am I being flippant? Yes, I am. Do I care? No, I don't. In the word, grab the toothbrush. No. Kitty cats. All right, let's get a move on. We're going to my kitchen. Na 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 na. All right, hot water on. If you have a work sink, use that. I do not. So we're going to use my sink. Get some of this crap off me. Oh my god, that's gross. Now, your two best friends for cleaning old rusty locks, in my opinion, but since this is my live stream, my opinion is AKA fact. Your two best friends are metal scrub brushes. This is the only one I have left right now, and it's the Harbor Freight special, but it's all good. And Barkeeper's Friend Soft Cleanser in liquid form, a true lifesaver. Now, one thing I will say is you might want to be careful around the lock internals because it is an abrasive. It does have grains to it, but if you rinse very thoroughly, it is an exceptional cleanser of locks. And I realized I forgot one very important part, which was one of the grossest bits itself. Can't forget the plug. All right. I will say one thing, and this is a caution. Barkeeper's Friend contains oxalic acid. Oxalic acid is not a super harmful chemical, but if you do not wear gloves, you will absolutely wake up with the worst case of dry, peeling skin you've ever experienced. All right. If you want to talk about gutted Master Lock 575s, there is a video on Georgia Jim's YouTube channel of a match set of challenge locks that I sent him. One was made out of a 575 and one was a 576. I really enjoyed that one, and it's a little unfortunate. I don't make nearly enough challenge locks these days. I need to get back into doing that. Does anybody feel like they need to tinkle from the water? That's good. Warm. The locking balls are gross. Sorry about the drought in California, but I need liquid. So right now we're just going to cover everything in BKF. One thing we are going to do just to appease you guys is we're going to move the really small pieces away from the center section. Look, we already got some of the original brass color coming back. It is not automatic. No, 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 G key, man. That would be terrible. Let me actually, no. So yeah, right now I'm just rubbing it between my hands. We're just kind of working it in. And even without any like further use of a scrub brush or anything, just by using Barkeeper's and a little bit of elbow grease, we're able to. All right, we can stop the water for now. We're able to. All right, everybody, you can come back from the bathroom. It's okay. Yeah, I have one. It's underneath the dirty dishes, which I can't be bothered to get right now. Or actually, here, Lana, you happy? Danger is my middle name. No, it's not. It's Isaac. All right, now we use this. Look, these shit gloves. Look at this. Look at this. Now you can be here for a very long time if you want to, making this factory fresh. We're not going to do that. We're going to just get it started, cleaned up, and then we will leave the kitchen. But the one thing I would like to do is I'd like to get the part where it says super pin tumbler lubricate with graphite to come out, and it is. Meow, baby boy. All right, Fred, you're an athlete. If you want to hang out with me, there you go. Meow. Yes. Looking better already. And now, super is still pretty faint, but pin tumbler lubricate with graphite is back from the dead. Let's go. I like it. Let me change my gloves so I don't get nastiness. I need to go get better gloves than these pieces of jank. All right. Now, when I finish the stream, I'm going to go back and finish this up like really a lot because I mean it's not even by any stretch of the imagination. But the point is, you know, what I like about Barkeeper's Friend is you determine the level of restoration. You want to just get some of the crap off it, fine. You want to make it nice, that works too. You want to go at it for an hour until it's almost a mirror finish. BKF is there for you. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. Speaking of which, let's see what it's doing on the shackle, which is the steel bit. I'm hoping Obviously, the chrome plating is long gone on this guy, but I'm hoping we can get rid of some of the just outer gunk rust, which is obviously coming off quite quickly. So, so G Keyman, to answer your question, yes, it works quite well for steel shackles. It won't, it's not a rust penetrator per se. It's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna remove pitting, but it will remove that nasty surface rust and give you a nice kind of black oxide finish. And it actually looks quite good in my opinion. It's not perfect. You can always go back and, if you have an electroplater, you can go back and chrome plate it or nickel plate it. Interesting. Interesting. All right. So so we got some of the shackle rust done. It does do pretty decently for steel shackles, and also we've exposed the fact that this thing actually says Eaton, Yale, and Town Incorporated. So this can help us date it because we know Eaton was part of the company name when this lock was made, instead of just the Yale and Town or something else, Scoville. So yeah, it does surprisingly well for steel shackle. To answer your question. Stop wasting water for now. Something, something, something keto-like systems, right, G man? Let's la 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 la. Ah! Okay, okay, message understood loud and clear. I need to go to Harbor Freight and get better gloves. I also need new brushes because this guy is really on his last leg. And remember, my friends, those who can't do, blame the tool. All right. We're going to stop there for now because, frankly, how much? Yeah, come on, lurkers. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, G Keeman. You know what I'm going to get? What works for me in the past because I don't want to mess up. Like if I get dishwashing gloves, they're for washing dishes and nothing else. But what has worked for me very well in the past is just more heavy duty nitrile gloves. Like those are just kind of cheap vinyl gloves. The If you go for something a little more heavy duty, like a 7 millimeter or 9 millimeter nitrile, it's way more better. All right, we got our parts. Side note, why more Americans don't have electric kettles in their house, I will never know. It's such a handy thing. I know we're more of a coffee than a tea drinking society, but still, it really is the best way to boil water, and I will have no disagreement on that one. Me, she's boo. She's running away. There, my stuff. We're going back to the thing. So now I'm going to partially reassemble it without any pins or springs, so y'all can see what it's like to look like reassembled. Yeah, all right. Chuck Scoop is down with the electric kettle, as you should be. For most of my life, I called the electric kettle the kum kum because that's how you call it in Hebrew. And my dad is from Israel, and so that's what he called it, and that's what we always called it. So it's a kum kum. Oh, right. Parts, parts, parts. So yeah, we're not going to fully reassemble it because I'm honestly not done cleaning it. If we want, we've got a nice kind of bronze scene on this sucker. But if we really want to keep going, we can get this to pretty much this beautiful. I mean, we can get that. And for the record, yes, this one has screws instead of the rivets. If you want to, you can use a 440 tap to tap these holes and use a 440 brass screw to replace the rivets. It, it's one option and it makes it much easier to gut in the future. And you can have it as a challenge lock. Just, food for thought for y'all. But yeah, as you can see, this one says Eaton, Yale in town. This brass lock is slightly older because this predates Eaton. This is the Yale in town Mufug Co. And, well, this is an Ilco, but construction wise, it's exactly the same. And where's a really vintage one? So yeah. Also, this is also like this is an extreme case, GK man. Um, obviously, you know, obviously this is heavily corroded, but you know, with a little bit of barkeeper's friends, it does produce a very nice finish if you're willing to work for it. And I mean, it really shows the texture and the pitting. So, obviously as a moment, it has, you know, all right, let's put this sucker back together, as it were. And for the record, even after that cleaning, there's still gunk. All right. All right. So let's pretend la 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 la. This is a present. This is the pleasant fiction. We've got our pins in. We've got our key pins and drivers in. We wrote this in with the follower. All right. Yay. Drop in our actuator. So right now, I'm not putting any pins or springs in for this because um, I'm not actually going to cinch it all back up together. I'm just going to kind of show the basic concept on reassembly, and then I'm going to probably end the live stream and finish cleaning it a little bit more in depth. And I can, if y'all want, I can post pictures of like the aftermath uh, on the Dragon's Lair. But all right, let's get that sucker in place. Now, my least favorite part uh, about getting this friggin' packlock, or not packlock, padlock. No worries at all, Chuck Soup. I want, I think it's important for new people to see me bumbling about. I'm not new, I'm not old, I'm somewhere in the middle. But this, this is not that difficult. If I can do this, you can do this. All right, we're gonna put our springs, and these are these big honking springs. We want to put our springs back in our locking balls. And just to be clear, the locking balls are not the same. This is for the uh, actual inside leg of the shackle. It's squared, and this is for the shorter side of the shackle that actually um, comes out, and it's beveled. So they can only go one way, and conveniently, that's the side. That's the side where the shackle is long. That's the side where the shackle is short. They really make it easy for you. What's not easy is getting them all lined up happily, because there's these little nubs that need to interact with the actuator. And let me not talk about it. Let me just do it, and y'all can see me fumbling, rumbling, tumbling, fumbling, bumbling. And of course, it's about 10 times harder when there's you know, pins, springs, what have you. But basically, the trick of it is to get them centered like so, and then basically drive you know, to get them centered like that, you're gonna want the plug a little bit retracted, and then once that's in, drive the plug up. So now they're captured, and holding the plug, now we're gonna grab our little rotation limiter piece, which for the record is beveled and only goes one way, so you gotta make sure you're doing it the right way. Okay. Back in, grab our flathead screw. If you take nothing else from this live stream, take away the fact that flathead screws are truly the work of Satan and should not exist. Phillips head screws aren't much better, but flathead, shit, because that. I don't know how I can blame the screw for that. All right. So now we got our pawls in place, we got our core in place. It's not going anywhere. All right. Now, obviously, this has, because it has no pins and springs, the core turns, excuse me, freely. And I actually made a mistake, but not going to fix it right now because the mistake is, excuse me, I put in either the rotation limiter or the actuator in the back the wrong way around. So it's not returning to the correct center position. I also don't really care right now because there's no pins or springs, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, once you've got this sucker in place, we want to, either with a key or with a turning tool, turn the actuator so that the locking pawls are completely retracted. We insert our spring, we grab our outer body. Remember, it can only go one way, and this is not that way. We got to make sure the rivets line up. And we take our shackle, we put it in the side that it should go. Make sure the pawls are completely retracted, or you're gonna have a bad time. Um, ay, 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 ay. Yes. So now we're in, we're locked up. Fortunately, it works. Now, the last thing we want to do is reinsert this flat piece of metal, which is the shackle retention pin right there. Boom, boom, boom. Now the shackle's not going anywhere. And now now all we need to do when we're actually done is hammer the rivets back in, sand it all flush, and this lock is ready to go back into service. What do you think, GT man? Do you think I did a fairly decent explanation on how to do these 850 series, guys? I think I did all right. It would have been a little bit easier if I didn't have to repick the stupid thing the way through, but you know. All right. And now for some, yep. If you forget that little pin, that thing turns into an absolute rocket. Here, as a matter of fact, Chuck Soup, let me demonstrate. No pin right now. Oh, I got lucky. But now it's over extended. So now it's actually locked up because I relocked the core. So I need to, it's not wanting to turn into a rocket because it's still a little bit gritty and grimy. But I assure you, if this was lubricated and the spring, yeah, if the spring is fully hanging loose and fully juiced and everything is lubricated and clean and nice, that thing is a Mach 5 projectile at times. It is dangerous. All right. while we're still here, should we figure out what I put in backwards, whether it was the rotation limiter or the actuator? Pretty easy to figure that one out. Let's just take the rotation limiter and flip it around. And if everything is good, then we have our solution. I do not. I had the actuator backwards. La de frickin' da. I don't think it's actually that dangerous. Okay, ha! It was the rotation limiter. Now we're back to good. The actuator was fine the entire time. All right, now we're back to now honestly. Oh yeah. So I mean, I'm joking a little bit. The actual danger from the shackle spring is actually not that bad. Um, Significantly worse, in my opinion, uh, are significantly worse, in my opinion, are some ABIS padlocks uh, that are that use it. They're not the 83, to clarify, um, but some ABIS padlocks that use uh, house keys are profoundly threatening at times. Let me actually dig one out that's an exemplar. Um, right. This is not actually branded as ABIS. Um, this is a UScan branded padlock, but fear not, it's the exact same thing, and it's made in the exact same factory as the ABIS 80 or 81, and it's like almost exactly like a Abus 83, except it's much, 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 much more annoying. And funnily enough, I actually gutted it yesterday and found, excuse me, found this random. It's not very easy to view, but that's an ASSA barrel that was just in that lock for some reason. I don't know why. There's no matched milling in any of the. What is you doing? I am shooting the shit, Zomgaki. But yeah, I actually intentionally removed that because why are you doing lock? Why not? Yeah, I intentionally removed that barrel because I have kicks that do have counter milling, and I'm going to remove them into something with some match milling, so the barrel actually like takes place. Zom Key, are you related to G Keyman? Are you Zom G Keyman 565, my friend? Can you make evil locks? I don't have to make evil. Well, I can, I guess. Um, but you know who can make evil locks is good lock companies. All right. Anyways, sorry. Let me quit shooting the shit. Chuck Soup, you're still there, right? Let me show you the true danger shackle. Now, let me grab my key. Now, this particular lock is key retaining, and it it's assembled something like a cross between the 7230 and the 98 Pro, in that the core itself has an integrated actuator. So, and instead of a screw retention, there's a little pin, a spring-loaded pin on the core. You might be able to barely see it. Oh, wait, I'll turn the flash on. You see that little silvery pin over there? So there's that spring-loaded pin that you, Spicer, that you retract, and then you pull. All right, so you retract that pin, and I'm not going to use this thin little um, pick, I'm going to take. Oh, I actually successfully moved it into the first position. All right, yippee. All right, Chuck Soup, prepare for whatever the heck is about to come. I am going to move this over so it's away from the actual pins. All right, as I pull the core out, Jesus Christ on a bike. Yeah, that is the true danger. Shackle ejectocito ca. But yeah, so yeah, this is kind of like a 98 Pro in that it has this integrated actuator, but unlike the 98 Pro, there's no Allen screw capturing the shackle. So when you pull this, the ball bearings free. Shit, the ball bearings are going wherever the heck they want to go, and the ball bearings are going, the spring is going, and the shackle is going. It is absolute havoc taking place. All right, let me get that shackle back. You pow. Really, bro? No, Zomjiki, I'm actually not. I'm in between, so I can actually flip it around and you can see me. Hi. And then I flip around, I'm still doing the same thing. That's how we do that. Yeah. I know, I'm just as ugly as you thought I was. All right. Let me get this friggin' U scan back together, cause God. What do we say, y'all? Oh, fucking shit. All right, sorry. Pardon my language. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Something must have happened while I was away, because it's a disaster. Okay, what do we say, y'all? Show of hands. Vote in the comments. Should we redo the projectile shackle spring, or should I? No, fuck shit. Or should I just put this sucker back together? Oh no! There. Beep. Oh well, yeah. GK man, I think I just lost a ball bearing to the lock to the floor gods. So we're just gonna put this thing back together and call it a night. That is what's going to happen. Some some key. Well, I hope you can forgive me in time. All right, y'all. You know what? We've been going for an hour and a half, and I need to put shit together. I'm going to cut this live right now because I'm getting a little bit frustrated, and I need to be able to focus on what I'm doing right now. And I don't want to have a shitty live. And if I'm not talking, then I'm just going. It's shit. So, thanks for hanging out, y'all. Rock. I hope y'all decide to go and buy some of these. Uh, I hope you go and buy some Yale 840s, some 850s, some 830s. If you can find a cheap 870, more power to you. But they're the hard ones. But yeah, go do this. It's not that hard. You Yale blanks are everywhere. Like a lot of us have just spare Yale blanks just lying around that we'd be more than happy to give you if you want to try hand filing a key and just taking some of these locks that have been out of service for far too long and putting them back in as working locks. You know, this lock didn't have a working key when I first got it. Does now with a funky keyway too. Anyways, bye all. Love you.